See that song? It keeps flowing through. So today we're here on the Russ Meek Speaks show. I have a superstar guest here. We're going to be talking about things that everybody needs to know. So make sure you get your pens, your pencils out so you can take the notes. And you want to get information that our friend Ken's about to tell us today, and he's going to give us information that you'll not hear anyplace else other than here today. So we're going to move from there. But Ken, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's going on with you?
Okay. So my name is Ken Bivens, and I'm president of Senior Resource Center as well as Compassionate Angels Home Care. And so we provide a lot of services for seniors around the state of Illinois, and we are expanding into other states as well. But we want to make sure that seniors are taken care of around the country. And so there are 30 to 40 services that are free for seniors that a lot of seniors don't know about. Once they have that Medicare card, they're entitled to certain services. But then also a lot of times seniors need help in the daily living. And so we try to set ourselves apart from other agencies when it comes to providing those type of services. And so those are some of the things that we'll be talking about today.
Got it. And Ken, we had a chance to get introduced together by this interesting gentleman, Mr. Larry Irie, with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce. Been involved with Larry for a long time. How did you get involved with Larry, and how does it relate to the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce?
Okay. Excellent question. Larry is a great guy. I'm actually amazed. I think I sent him a text a few days ago, like, do you ever sleep? Because it seems like he's always contacting me in the middle of the night when you think he'd be sleeping, but he's always thinking about helping minority businesses. So I was referred to him from someone else from the chamber, and immediately Larry reached out to me after the guy told him about some of the services that we provided for him. And so Larry reached out to me, and immediately he put me in contact with someone on his staff. And it's kind of like been like a whirlwind ever since with the chamber. What they've done is they've had me on WGCI radio twice. Definitely this with CAN TV. And this is within less than 6 months. And I was sharing with somebody in a meeting before. She's involved with the chamber, and she said they don't do anything for her. She said she's been involved with them for a year. Every time she goes to a meeting, there might be 3 people there, and that's it. So I told her she definitely needs to be involved with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce.
Needs to make a change now. Is she black?
Yeah.
It's a different world, but the chamber has helped a number of companies throughout the state.
Definitely.
It's not just in Illinois, it's throughout the country. Every state has a black chamber, and the relationships and the networking that's done is phenomenal. So you definitely want to be involved with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce and the National Black Chamber of Commerce if you can. But today we're talking about you, what you're doing. You're basically looking at 350 million people on the country here that you guys have access to. What are you going to do with all these people? How soon can you get this done? And then when is it going to be like a stamp? Say, hey, I've been involved with these people so I can get service anywhere in the world.
Another very good question. So what we're doing right now, once again, we in the state of Illinois, and so we provide, as I mentioned before, a lot of services. Once again, there's like 30 to 40 services that are available for seniors. We help with home health services, like where we have doctors and nurses and physical therapists and podiatrists come into the home. That's something that they don't have to pay for out of pocket. It's covered for them through Medicare. We work with homemaker agencies, so if they need someone to do cooking, cleaning, vacuuming, laundry, we can take care of those things. If they need services in the home as far as just helping them with mobility or helping them with bathing or anything like that, we do those type of things. So we also work with the VA. We work with CETA, helping them with their light and gas bills. So there's a lot of services that we provide for them, and all of those services are free.
Okay.
So they don't have to pay. We're connected with a lot of different agencies, and so once we talk to them and find out what they need, then we can make sure that we connect them to the right agency. And as opposed to them trying to call around to all of these different companies and agencies, we have them contact them and get everything set up. So that's something that we do with the Senior Resource Center side. And then Compassionate Angel side, we do the same thing, but on a higher level, where we have a private duty home care service. And so we have CNAs, and I'll get more into that later, but we have CNAs that actually go into the home to provide care for seniors and people with disabilities with 15, 20 years of experience. And so we do that, and that model that we set up in Illinois is what we're looking to expand, from state to state to state. So right now we're looking to go locally, regionally, then nationally, and then prayerfully one day internationally. So we're looking to expand over the next 5 years, and we want to be strategic, want to be specific, but at the same time, within a 5-year period, we hope to be able to have it where everybody can have those services.
Got it. So right now, you guys are working in an environment that everybody's going to use one way or another, either as you're young or older, because you work with those who are disabled, those who get older and can't take care of themselves, and then for those people who go to the next level, who are beyond capabilities.
Right.
So my question to you is, what's the market in your eyes? Where are people going to need your services, and how soon they need to get it done?
Okay. So our services are mainly focused, but not entirely focused, on the senior population age 65 and above. So when they get that red, white, and blue Medicare card, that's when a lot of services kick in for them. But services that they work for, paying Medicare every 2 weeks for 20, 30, 40 years, they work for these benefits. But then once they retire or reach that age, Medicare may send them a book, and they have no idea of everything that they have access to. So the majority of the time, we're educating seniors through either churches, townships, just nursing homes, senior buildings. We're doing a lot of education that way, and making sure that the senior population knows what they have access to. However, we have quite a few clients, as I was sharing with you beforehand, who are younger than 65. And it might be because they're dealing with some type of disability.
Okay.
And so if someone has a disability, or they've had SSI or something like that for 2 years, then they might be eligible for Medicare at an early age, in their 30s and their 40s. So to answer your question, we focus on seniors. However, there are a lot of people who are not seniors who have medical issues and disabilities that we try to focus on. So they kind of need it when they're going through some medical issues. Call us,
Okay.
and we'll see if we can help you in any way, regardless of age.
And call you at what number?
Okay. So for the Senior Resource Center, it's 312-535-7375. Once again, 312-535-7375.
Can we ask for you?
Oh, they can ask for me. Yeah. So
we're the boss.
yeah, I know. I do get a lot of people. They don't even, because I've been doing this for over a decade. They don't even know the company name. Everybody like, call Ken. So they can usually reach Ken. So.
I'm in a situation right now where I'm having a mom that passed, was in her 80s, going through this services need, where we tried to get everything from the care from what do they call them? A nurse that came in on a regular basis,
Okay.
doing the service and the follow-ups.
Mm-hmm.
She had basically gone through a pre-stroke situation, but
Okay.
there was a huge need to keep her monitored because diapers needed to be changed and things of that nature
Exactly.
had to be fed, things of that nature. It was not an easy scenario. I'm hearing from people that I've talked to that this is a common scenario, that a lot of parents are in that situation. And you have the kids running around saying, hey, who's going to do this? I'm battling here with my sister and saying, hey, look, who's going to get this stuff done?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just no logic. This was not in the book when I was trying to say, how do you take care of mom and dad? That was not just part of the plan. But you guys educate folks on the process, what needs to be done and how it can be done?
Yes, not only do we educate, but we actually send the help. We come across so many people, and many times it's not the seniors that we're talking to, it's usually their children.
Okay.
As you said, the children call because they're panicking because they've been thrust into a situation that they didn't expect, where mom or dad went into the hospital and now they can't walk or they can't talk or they're having this issue or they're falling. And so now they need somebody there to monitor them, to help them with their daily activities. Sometimes, as you said, to change diapers, to make sure that they're fed, to make sure laundry is done. All those things are things that we don't think about because we're just living our lives. But when we get to the age where our parents are older, and especially if you're a child that works a 9 to 5 or you're working, and or if you're out of state but mom or dad are still in the state. So we have a lot of clients that we talk to that once again are thrust into that situation. There's no way to explain it because it's not something that you plan for. As you said, it's nothing that you've been taught. It's just something that, you got a call that mom fell, and all of a sudden they're coming back home and you need to have all this care in place. Right. And so we try to tell people, don't panic, just call us and we'll take care of it for you, because we can send doctors and nurses and physical therapists and podiatrists to the home. So when we do that, it doesn't replace their primary doctor, but at the same time, when your parents and or if you're a senior yourself, it's kind of hard to get back and forth to the doctor sometime, and or you may have to wait a long period of time before you can get to your doctor because they're booked. Okay. And so once you have Medicare, if Medicare is your primary and you take at least one medication, then you're entitled to a lot of benefits and services. They don't look at income, because a lot of times seniors think, well, I make too much money for this or I make too much money for that. But on the healthcare side, it's not income based. The two things that we look at is are you a Medicare recipient, where Medicare is your primary, and do you take at least one medication? So if you meet those two criteria, then we can get services in place for you, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So we can send help there to the home. So not only educate, but we can actually send somebody there. And then we also set up the home care side as well, where if they need somebody, so the medical side, the doctors and nurses come, like a doctor will come to the home once a month, a nurse will come once a week, a physical therapist will come a few times a week. So we have those type of things in place for them. But at the same time, sometimes people need caregivers to help with the cooking and the cleaning and all of those type of things. And so we want to make sure we put that in place for you as well. And so we work with the state and with different agencies to put that in place for individuals. That one is income-based, where the state, if their income is $17,000 or less a year, then the state will actually pay for them to get services. But if it's over that amount, then the state won't pay, and then they may have to come out of pocket and do private duty nursing. Mm-hmm. But we have a secondary company, Compassionate Angels Home Care, that can do that for those people who have higher income, but we still try to keep our cost for them lower than most agencies in the state. Okay. So either way, if they need medical attention or if they need the care in the home, we try to mirror those two things and put them together and make sure we put everything in the home for them. Got it.
Now here's another issue. What if I have a child, let's say minor, who has a life-threatening disease that's basically made them basically shortening their lifespan, and they now get Medicare and it's taking care of them? Do you guys provide also for youth?
Yes. So there's a couple things that can be done for youths and minors. There are certain things where we work with Department of Aging, but we also work with Department of Rehab. So Department of Rehab usually focuses on age 18 to 59, and then Department of Aging age 60 and above. So if somebody is in that age group of 18 to 59, then we can refer them to the Department of Rehab and get things set up for them, where once again that department actually pays for a lot of services and things for them. If they're younger than that, like we do have 2 clients right now who are actually younger than that age, and so they were in a situation where an accident occurred and they have a guardianship, and so we partner with lawyers and banks and guardianships where they actually pay for care for them, and so we have 24/7 care for that client.
Okay. I've had clients also that, since I manage the assets for a lot of clients, and we have situations where we have large settlements that come in for people that basically are through an accident or some type of injury or mishap by doctors, where we have to manage these dollars. But the key thing we find problems with a lot of people is they don't have anything in writing saying what's going to take place, who's going to be my custodian, who's going, well, we usually assume mom and dad are going to be custodians, but in situations, sometimes that's not really appropriate. You really need somebody that has better abilities and can get you through the problem, because not everybody knows what to do.
That's true.
Do you guys assist in that area?
Yeah, so there are some guardianships that we work with. The example that you mentioned is something that we have with one of our clients where there was an accident with CTA and there was a big settlement, I think when she was 4. And so unfortunately now the mom has passed, the dad is not in life. And so a guardianship had to step in and manage life for her. And so it was a situation where prior to us getting involved, I think the guardianship mentioned that they had about 60 to 70 people coming through that household. And so she never could connect with anyone. And so once I assessed the situation, I have 4 people that are there, and they've been with her for years. And so she knows them now, so she has some stability. And it's because that guardianship reached out to us and let us know the situation. So we were able to set some stability up and things in the home where she has this consistently, and prayerfully she'll have it for years. So we do have access and contacts with guardianships that can help with those type of things.
Good. I've had some flare-ups that have happened in the past with a few clients where, who's going to be the guardian? Well, I got the church that comes in. Okay, we're going to be the guardian. I got a grandmother coming in. I'm going to be the guardian.
Yeah.
Then we have a long-lost dad. Where did you come from?
I know.
I'm dad. Well, wait a minute. You're not on the birth certificate. What's the scenario here? But I was the father. No, nobody told him.
Right.
Those are scenarios that are difficult to understand.
Yes.
And the real issues right now come in, how do we make this work? The state of Illinois has a procedure that they follow. This is things that have to be done.
Right.
Bankers and lawyers come in and say they need to do it this way. This is what the law says should be done.
Right.
And then we have the rule of law. What is appropriate to these types of situations?
Yeah.
And right now, nobody knows what the exact answer is. I'm going to have to sit before a judge to make that decision and say, how will this be handled?
Yeah. And unfortunately, once again, we've had those same scenarios where family is fighting. When there was no money involved, you couldn't find them. But now that money is involved, now everybody once again wants to be the guardian. But the fact that they have judges and lawyers and people involved, that actually makes it a lot easier for them, because what happens is now somebody with the legal capacity, with the financial capacity, having banks involved and things of that nature, now they can make sure that these funds stretch and there's some longevity and it's there for them all of their lives, versus them just running through the money. So we want to make sure that things are set up properly. So if we can help in any way, we definitely try to refer them to guardianships. Whether they take advantage of it, that's one thing, but we definitely try to make sure that that they have those things in place.
Good. Now, we talked about the Chamber of Commerce before, working with the Chamber and how they help people throughout the state.
Yeah.
The question is, have you found the Chamber to be helpful in terms of what actually gets distributed?
Oh, definitely. I can always speak about Larry Ivory, because I say he's been great and he's the president of the Chamber. But with my experience with him, and once again, I know it's been less than a year that I've known him, but it seems like I've known him all my life, because he seems to bend over backwards to try to help small business owners, to help minorities, to help people, day and night. The person that referred me, he said, you need to know Larry Ivory. I'm like, who? And he said, Larry Ivory. He said, he's somebody you need to know, And so when he introduced me to him, it's like, just clicked. I think he called me in the middle of the night and said, hey, you were referred, and they told me about the great work that you're doing. They know that you work with a lot of minorities. You're a minority business owner. You don't work strictly with minorities, but at the same time, you're a minority business owner. And because you helped my friend, he told me to help you. And so Larry, he didn't have to do it, but he just kept extending himself, Ken, do you need this? How can I help you? Do you need marketing? Do you need connections with bankers? Do you need this? Do you need that? The marketing and advertising I mentioned earlier, even meeting you today is because of Larry.
Right.
And so the chamber can do a lot for small business owners. I would definitely tell everybody to join the chamber.
Okay. So it's a format that does work. It's a matter of continuing the actual options that happen with the chamber and to refer people in to say, hey, you need to be involved with the chamber and also be assisted.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, another question with you and the company itself. How do you guys expand, or how do you plan to expand over the next few years?
Okay. So what we're in the process of doing now is we're trying to do a lot of networking and get relationships with different bankers and different avenues of finance, because we know that in order to expand, we definitely need personnel, and with that comes payroll, and then we also need marketing. And so being able to pay for those things is a goal that and a task that we've been looking at right now for the past few months. And so over the next, pretty much in a 1 year time, we're trying to build up relationships, trying to make sure that our books are in order, so banks can take a look at us to see how they can help us. And once we have the financing in place, thank God we do have a few banks that's been kind of like pursuing us more than we've been pursuing them. And I told them, I said, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Oh, yeah.
And so with that in mind, we want to put the finances in place that we need to be able to expand. As I was talking to you earlier, we know that once we expand into other states or and eventually prayerfully other countries, but in order to do that, we know that we need to have quality staff, not just staff. I mean, we interview so many people before we hire one. And with the Compassionate Angel side, as an example, usually pretty much I would say everybody on our staff has either been in the field 15 or 20 years. So if they've been in there 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, it's kind of hard to break through because we want quality. Our name goes out there with us. And I think a lot of businesses, if they don't think that way, that's the way that they should think. And so because we want quality people, of course, it costs to have quality people, but we don't mind that as long as we know that our seniors are getting quality.
Got it.
And so with that, if we have a contract with the state or if it's private duty, however we're doing it, we know that we need to have funds in place to pay our people until we're reimbursed from the state, as an example. And so to be able to expand, a big part of what we're doing now over the next 12 months is trying to build up relationships, partnerships in the financial community to have funds there. So when we expand or need to expand, we know it's there, and now we know we can tackle this state, we can tackle that state. The good part about what we've done over the past 10 plus years with Senior Resource Center is we have a really good reputation, a really good name. And so we get a lot of referrals.
Okay.
We don't have to do a lot of marketing, but we do because that's part of business. But because of the service that we've given people over the years, we constantly get calls from everywhere. So not only in Illinois, but we get calls from LA, from Georgia, from Texas, from New York. Like I told you earlier, we got a call from Mississippi today. So we get calls from people all over the country because they've heard of our services. They've heard of Ken. Call Ken, call Ken, call Ken. And I think I was speaking years ago at a seminar, and a lady. I
can see the blues now.
Yeah.
Now call again.
Yeah. So I think one of the ladies said somebody was trying to ask a question in the audience. She said, "Girl, just call Ken. We're gonna get him a T-shirt. Just call Ken." Because they know I've taken care of them over the years, and so we have a good reputation. And so because of that, we do have people constantly calling. So the marketing side, although it's needed for any business, because of our reputation and good customer service, we do get a lot of calls. So I think eventually, once we put the word out that we're here or we're there, we will get the volume that we need to continue to grow.
Got it. So my question to you is, what makes you better than the competitor down the street?
Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier, and it's something that we take for granted, but customer service. And we don't think that's a big differentiator in business, but trust me, if you're trying to reach somebody, if you're going through something with your mom or with your dad, and you've been calling all these places and nobody's picking up or nobody's returning your calls, but then you call us, and not only do you call us, but we take the time, if it takes 30 minutes, if it takes an hour, however long it takes to walk you through everything, to calm you down, to get you to the place where you have services in place within the next 24 to 48 hours. Whatever we have to do on our end, we're going to do that. And so I think a lot of people, they remember that. A lot of people, they think that to be honest, I haven't met face to face a lot of my clients, but they know, call Ken, or they tell their neighbor, call Ken. They tell their family members to call Ken. And it's because of the customer service, but it's not only Ken. I have a staff that's been trained the same way. And years ago I learned if you take care of God's people, God will take care of you. And so when I'm trying to take care of people, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to help them as much as possible. I try to put myself in their shoes. And so that kind of makes me different. I guess that's an easier way to say it than a lot of companies, because a lot of companies just look at numbers. We want to have this and have this and have this. And so they're just looking at numbers, and we're looking at the people. And if we don't make a huge profit, that's fine. But let's take care of her. Let's take care of him, because down the line, it'll come back, And so that's kind of what separated us. So that's why I said on the marketing side, we don't need huge marketing, although we want to make sure it's in place. But at the same time, because of what we've done in the past for over a decade, we have a lot of people that remember us and remember what we did, or remember talking to somebody on staff and how they were compassionate with them, took the time to help them. And even sometimes they're not even calling for themselves. They're calling because I have a neighbor across the street that's going through X, Y, and Z, or I have a cousin that's going through X, Y, and Z. And so we'll call them up, talk to them, explain everything, and now how can we help you?
So for people who are watching this program today, and they say, hey, he's given us this number and we can give him a call, why should they call you and your organization?
Okay. Our organization, we not only just focus on one thing, we focus on many things for seniors and people with disabilities. And that's something that a lot of companies don't do. So some companies may focus just on the home health, or some may just focus on the home care, or some may focus on this or that. But when I started Senior Resource Center, it's because of the calls I was getting from seniors that needed certain things, like, Ken, I know I need a doctor. Ken, I need somebody to clean up. Ken, I need help with paying my light and gas bill. Ken, I need a physical therapist. I need this. I'm a surviving spouse. So what or they need some medical equipment. So from those calls, God gave me the idea to start to just put everything under one roof. And so now when a senior calls, no matter what they're calling for, they don't have to just start calling 5 or 6 agencies or whatever. They just call Senior Resource Center, and we do all the legwork for them. We don't charge them anything. No, once again, all those services are free through Senior Resource Center. And so we make sure that whatever they need or whatever they're going through, we can take care of it. And most agencies that they deal with, they can't do that. No, they may be able to provide home care, but they can't provide the doctors and nurses. Or they may have doctors and nurses, but they don't have, somebody to help them with medical equipment and supplies, or help them with, if they're a veteran, help them with things. And so we have all of those things under one roof. We deal with the VA, we deal with everything. So when they're dealing with something, we take care of it for them.
So back to the reality of people. We have a need, and services have to be provided out here. People have demand, different types of services that they need, and looking to find out the best way to get it done. And right now, again, we have people, especially in the African American community, that says, hey, we need a lot of things. We're getting mixed up with the Hispanics and the other people of color. It's like, hey, how can we get these services that we have to have? And right now, it's not an easy job. And I'm trying to find out the ways to let people know how they can get this done now. What does the state say about the company these days?
I think we've done very well. And the reason I say that is not only the state, but people that work within the state. call us, doctors call us, sometimes hospitals call us. We have a very good reputation, and because of that, once again, we just get a lot of referrals, and I think once again it's because of the work that we've done, in the communities. So like I said, Senior Resource Center has been around for over 10 years. Compassionate Angels has been around for over 5 years. And once again, we're starting God's Gentle Touch, and that's another contract that we're working on with the state right now. So we have multiple things that we're doing with the state. Some things we're doing federally, dealing with Medicare and all those things. Some we're dealing with private companies and stuff to help with equipment, medical equipment and supplies. So we network with a lot of different agencies. We work with the VA. As I mentioned before, we work with CETA when people need help paying light and gas bill. So we have all of those under one roof. So that's why when they call us, we can help them with multiple things. And because we help so many people, we have a good reputation.
Now, how are you being impacted by our current president? How does Donald Trump impact your organization? And what do you see happening over the next few years? What are we going to be dealing with?
Ooh, a lot of prayer. But, I try not to focus on him and what's going on because there's so much negativity. And I try to, fill my spirit and be surrounded by positive things. And so I always try to look beyond what's going on negatively. However, I am compassionate enough where I look at how is this affecting the people that I deal with. So the effect that it's having is there's a lot of anxiety with a lot of people because benefits are being cut, jobs are being lost. Things are happening all around us that we can't ignore. And so what I try to do is just make sure that as far as my connections and my networks, if somebody's going through X, Y, and Z, let me make sure that the companies I've dealt with for 10, 15 years or whatever, that they're intact and they can still provide quality service. And so I try to go beyond what's the madness and just look at the people that it's affecting. And when I receive a call, okay, how can I help them or put them in contact with this agency that can provide the services that they need?
Yeah, because we had big calls coming in from people who've been cut from SNAP programs. And again, people say, look, how am I get food here? I got my SNAP cut off.
Yeah.
Do you help in that zone?
We do have some contacts that we try to help with that. Once again, we're fighting with government and bureaucracy. Ironically, about 30 days ago or so, we were contacted by an agency that deals with people who need employment in order to continue their SNAP.
Okay.
And so they asked us, would we be a sponsor to employ people who have education or training in certain areas to bring them aboard so they can have employment. Okay. And so we've done that. So we partner with an agency that kind of helps with that side if they need employment to be able to maintain their SNAP. And then also some of the agencies that we work with, that if they have the capacity to care for others, where we have agencies that will hire, train, and pay them to be able to work with others doing caregiving and stuff. Okay. And so they may not be on the level for Compassionate Angels for our own private company, but at the same time, we want to make sure that they're employed. So if they fit that criteria, and there are people who have taken care of family members and things of that nature, so we can connect them with some of those agencies and stuff as well.
What about with the city of Chicago? What's the relationship with our current mayor, and how does he get a chance to work with you guys?
Okay. I have not met with the current mayor yet. Have met with a few aldermen, a few congressmen, a few different people. I haven't met with the mayor. I know a few people who have. But definitely if anyone in the city of Chicago or in the state, if they need services or if they need help, if they reach out to that number, I'll say it again, with Senior Resource Center, 312-535-7375. If they call us, we'll definitely help any way that we can.
Because this is a latitude of various benefits that are provided from the U.S. government, which individuals have paid their tax monies for many, many years.
Exactly.
Now it's a question of utilizing what they've been paying for.
That's
and
true.
right now they're saying, how do I get it done? How do I get to utilize this benefit? I mean, do you guys come in and just do an analysis for the individuals to let them know really what benefits they're entitled to?
Yeah. So once again, with the Senior Resource Center, our main focus is seniors and people with disabilities. So unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of seniors don't know about all the benefits that they are entitled to. As I mentioned, sometimes like when you retire, you're so happy to retire, and you get to that retirement age and you get booked from Medicare, or you just get the card, the red, white, and blue card, but you don't know what's attached to it. And so I've, in seminars, I've shared with people, I said, there's a lot of free benefits. They're not quote unquote free, but you don't have to pay anything for them. And so they're like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And I said, because you worked 10, 20, 30 years, and every 2 weeks they were taking Medicare out of your paycheck before you got it. So once you retired, Medicare, all those benefits kicked in. And so there's 30 to 40 benefits through Medicare that they might be entitled to. So when we're sitting down with them, we let them know what some of those benefits are. Okay. And so we do educate them on all of these things that you have access to that you don't have to pay for. You have Medicare, you take at least one medication. So in a lot of situations, you would qualify for a lot of services and benefits just because you have that card now. And so we try to educate them on that.
Got it. Now, typically, you guys do seminars where you go out and talk to the individuals with nursing homes and different facility spots like that?
Yes. So in the past, we've done seminars at churches, at senior buildings, townships, at aldermen's offices. So we try anywhere that, sometimes that we used to always reach out to them, but now they seem to reach out to us. I spoke yesterday Tuesday at Apostolic Church of God, where Bishop Brazier used to be. Well, I guess Byron Brazier's there now, but we spoke there with their daytimers. And so churches will contact us. And once again, they've known us for years, and the services that we provided to a lot of people. And so we do seminars. We get a lot of word of mouth referrals, and then we also do a lot of marketing and things when we need to as well.
Okay. Do you guys do the seminars also on the phones where people can basically loop in and say, hey, let's do this format here on the phone? You can get a chance to get the seminars, other things taken care of.
We haven't done a seminar on the phone, but if they need it, we will do it. Normally, when we're talking to them on the phones, it's usually on a one-on-one basis to help them through their personal situation, what they're dealing with. But once again, with technology, we can do things through Zoom.
We can Zoom. That's right. What I'm saying. Hey, we've got Zoom meetings, and that's something that definitely makes a lot of sense. Now, do you guys try to talk with youth? Do you try to educate them in that side also, so they understand that they have to understand what their parents might be going through, and they need to be ready, if needed, to help out?
We haven't talked to, when I think of youth, I'm thinking in the 20s, but we have talked to youth or the children of the seniors, like in their 40s and 50s, trying to either educate them and or respond to a crisis that they seem to have found themselves in. Because once again, a lot of people in their 40s and 50s are still working. But if their mother gets sick or their father gets sick or they have grandparents or whatever, then they find themselves in situations where I need to make sure that things are still running in their household while I'm still trying to work. And so that's when they reach out to us to see, how can we help? What can we do to kind of take the burden off of them? And that's kind of like our organization. That's part of what we train people to do. Let's go, when we go in the home, let's remove burdens, things that they have to deal with. Let's make it easy for them. So if it's, once again, that cooking and cleaning and vacuuming and laundry, let's take care of that. Let's make sure they have breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. So anything that we can do to kind of take the burden off, we definitely want to do that. And so that's, everybody in the organization has been trained that way.
Now, what's your, putting on your future cap here, where are we going with seniors or people in need in the future? What do you think is going to happen with people that need these types of benefits? What's your recommendation, and what do you think will happen?
Twofold. I think the population is getting older, obviously. population is growing as well. I think we're over 8 billion now overall for everyone. So the population is continuing to grow. And because of that growth, there's going to be a need for people in those areas, of home health, And not only we think of home health and home care, that's something that people usually get confused. So let me just touch on that for a moment. We're going to need people in the home health field. So that's doctors, nurses, physical therapists, podiatrists. But the traditional setting is for a lot of those things to be in the hospital. But the model that home health care agencies have is the old model where the doctor used to come to the home. Like back in the 50s and all of that, they used to come to the home and they have their doctor bag and all that. So we've kind of, with our agency, we kind of reverted back to that with the home health side where the doctors come to them. The nurses come to them, the physical therapists come to them, the podiatrists come to them. So those are things that are going to constantly be needed, 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now because the population just keeps going. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're also going to need the home care, the people that do the daily things for seniors and people with disabilities, as far as on the cleaning and the vacuuming and all of those type of things and laundry, things that we take for granted now or take for granted when we're younger. But when we get older, you might have a situation. Years ago, I had a client who called she said, Ken, I just need somebody. I can't even make up the bed anymore. And he said, she said, I threw my shoulder out. So reaching over the bed to do that is something that I took for granted, and I can't do it anymore. And so we try to make sure that there are going to be caregivers involved in that arena. One of the things that I've done strategically over the past 10 years with Senior Resource Center, as we've referred people over to the home care agencies, is there's a program called Preferred Worker, where as opposed to an agency sending out a stranger, somebody that you don't know, that you don't trust, if you have somebody that you prefer, it could be a daughter, a son, a granddaughter, a niece, nephew, a church member, somebody that you feel comfortable with, we say, let's go through this Preferred Worker program where they will hire whoever you want, they'll train them, and then they'll pay them for you.
Okay.
And so those type of things help because not only are they being trained to care for their family members, but they're also being trained to care for others.
Got it.
And it's also helping with employment as well.
Now, question, qualifications. If I'm a former criminal, can I still work in that type of capacity?
Probably not.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll serve my time.
However, some of the home care agencies, they've told me it's on a case-by-case basis, and it depends on the level of what has occurred. And so, because the state of Illinois has their guidelines of what they will allow the agencies as far as with the background checks and all of that type of thing, so they have their guidelines. I'm assuming every state has that, but on a case-by-case scenario, there are certain things that they might be able to do. So it depends on the background.
Got it. Now, question: how many people really going to be demanded to do these types of jobs over the next few years?
If you're talking nationally, you're talking millions.
I'm just talking in Illinois. What can we say here?
Illinois is is already hundreds of thousands of people who are caregivers now. Okay. There are people, and they might not even be getting paid, but they're still caregivers. There's people who are taking care of their parents. There are people who are being paid to take care of either someone's parents or the elderly. So there's hundreds of thousands of caregivers in the state of Illinois. There's I think there's about 600 agencies or so in the state of Illinois, the last time I checked, who have a huge staff. Some have smaller, some have huge. Right. But the need is there, and it's just going to continue to grow over the years.
What's the salary range I'm looking at working in this industry?
Okay, good question. It varies and it depends. And I know that's kind of like, what are you talking about? Sound like a politician now. But home care is one income area, and like the hourly rate is somewhere like between $18 to $20 an hour on the private duty home care. Even with the state, with the caregivers, they're usually paying them around $17, $18 an hour. and then like if it's something on the medical side, like the home health agencies dealing with the doctors and the nurses and stuff, they have their own salary range and stuff. So I don't have access to their information, but I'm sure they're probably making nice money if they're basically traveling doctors and traveling nurses.
Basically, we're saying there are jobs that are available
Oh yes, definitely.
in the home care, home aid scenario that are available. One,
Yeah.
you got to get in. One, get through the system, make sure you can qualify.
Yeah.
And you can do and make a decent salary, better than McDonald's. And it's a format where, hey, you have a chance at least to enjoy different things.
Yeah, that's true. You know, one thing with the home care and home health, to give you an idea and an example of what we do with the hiring side, on the home care side, so that's when basically like somebody has services through the state where they have a homemaker that can help with cooking and cleaning. So that might be a daughter or a granddaughter or something like that. So the qualification level isn't that high because they're doing some basic things that they may have already been doing. And so we try to tell them, no, if you're taking care of a parent or grandparent, let's see if we can set it up where you're actually paid and employed to do this and where you actually get some training. So those people who have no background, but they're compassionate, they care, about their parents or grandparents, we say, let's get you employed. So they call us, we set them up with an agency that will do the hiring, the training, and all of those things for them and pay them to care for a loved one. So there's a lot of people who have parents they're taking care of, they might be actually able to get paid for doing that.
Okay.
So that's one thing on the employment side. On the Compassionate Angel side, the private duty nursing, we're a little bit more restrictive on that side because once again, we want quality care, we want skills. And so we're looking at CNAs are usually who we're hiring for that particular position. But what we've done, our model with Compassionate Angels, is we've hired CNAs away from like nursing homes, from hospitals, from rehab facilities that have seen some of everything over the past 15 to 20 years. And so we hire them away where they come and work with Compassionate Angels. But now, as opposed to them taking care of 15, 20 people on a shift, it's just one-on-one. So they're going to one client's home and they're taking care of them, and they're still getting paid the same thing that they were getting paid at some of these hospitals. And so we do the employment side for them where we can usually get CNAs because now they're not trying to take care of 15, 20 people. It's one-on-one. They get to know the person gets to know them. They're there in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, overnights, weekends, 24/7. So we provide all of those type of services with Compassionate Angels. And we usually try to have it where they're 15, 20 minutes away from where they live if we can, so.
Now, question. We have a huge market out here with lots of jobs. How many black people do you guys hire?
I think it was all of our staff black.
Oh, wait a minute. You discriminating.
That's what they would say. That hasn't always been the case because we have had white and Hispanic staff. I'm just trying to think of right now. I think all of our staff is black right now.
Prejudice.
No, it's just wherever, because when we are hiring, we're hiring for specific areas. Once again, as I mentioned before, we try to know if they live in the city, we want to make sure that, the caregiver is close by them, 15, 20 minutes away, if that's possible. And so if we have clients in the city, the South Side or wherever, then that's, when we put it out there, that the CNAs with that experience are going to contact us. If it's a South suburb, if we've had clients downtown, so depending on where they are, it draws the CNAs from that particular zip code.
What about in the Hispanic market? Are you guys hitting that?
We've been hitting it, not hard enough though. I would say that.
No habla español?
No. Well, we have had clients. Staff we have had staff that are bilingual, and so we have had that. But we do need to hit that population harder, and the Asian population as well. We do need to hit all of them.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking at the different racial groups that are out there. they definitely would feel comfortable with people who could speak the language.
That's
But
true.
yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy job,
Yeah.
especially with people who are Polish and different things of that nature. They have the need, and they are getting the service from someone.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of saying, hey, which companies are going to provide?
Yeah, and I think we are adaptable. So that's one thing, especially with me being the owner. So we are adaptable. Like we had a client years ago that was in Aurora, and she spoke mostly Spanish, but her daughter was bilingual, and so she wanted someone Spanish, and so that's what we were looking for, that spoke her language. So we have clients, a little bit of everywhere and all different, zip codes and geographics. So it's not just south side or south suburbs, western suburbs, northern suburbs, Lincoln Park area. We've looked at moving up and going through Skokie and Lakeview and all of that. So we're looking definitely expanding. So we're not just one-sided.
We've come to a scenario where we've run through a lot of time. And we had a lot of information, ideas, and information we're trying to get out. But again, what do people need to remember from this show? You guys provide services to mom, dad, other?
Yeah. So we definitely, and thank you for bringing that point back around. So if you are a senior, definitely let's start there. If you are a senior and you just want to know what services you are entitled to, give us a call. That's the first thing. We're going to start off with those who are seniors. So give us a call. Once again, that number is 312-535-7375. 312-535-7375. So give us a call if you just want to know what might be available for you or what you're entitled to. If you're a child of a senior, so if you have a parent or a grandparent who's a senior and you want to know what they're entitled to, give us a call. So one of the things that kind of separate us is we don't mind taking the time to educate and tell you what's out there. So if you're curious, because a lot of times people will sit at home and suffer, or sit at home and be paying out of pocket for things that they don't have to pay out of pocket for. And so if we can give you the information and let you know you have access to this, if you need the pens, this can be covered by this. If you need a shower chair, shower rail, this can be covered by that. If you need somebody to come out, this can be covered by that. So if they just need education, that's something that we kind of pride ourselves on, making sure that seniors and their children know what's available for them.
At no cost.
At no cost, yeah.
It's a format where we're trying to provide information to people to let them know that there are opportunities out there that they can take advantage of. Right now, you've been given the number and the access to say, look, you can go to the president of the company and say, we can get this done. But the real bottom line is take advantage of the opportunity.
Exactly. Nobody needs to sit at home and suffer or struggle when there's information and access to services out there that are free for you, that you've already paid for.
Got it. And we'll always follow up to thank Larry Ivory for at least introducing you to say, hey, people need to understand what's available. This is the guy who can tell you.